So for the next 45 minutes, we are going to talk about why disciplined agile and the scope of disciplined agile in terms of what all does it cover. Does it help you improve only project results, or does it go much beyond that towards business agility? So we're going to cover that. And what are the elements of DA and how is it different from other methods? And what is the agile career path through the disciplined agile? So how you can leverage this opportunity and accelerate your career and prime your career. So that is what we are going to deal with. First of all, why disciplined agile? Before we come to that, we need to appreciate some concepts. So because there is a lot of talk about scaling agile methods to business level. For example, with Scrum, people are able to derive better results at the project level, and people are talking about scaling it up to business agility, organizational agility. What do we mean by organizational agility? What do we mean by business agility? So we need to talk about that a bit and understand organizational agility. Today, most businesses operate around value streams. For those who have not gone through, let's say, a Six Sigma or some process management courses, the term value stream will be a little new. So I would like to highlight what is a value stream and then how it relates to agile methodologies, and then present how disciplined agile helps from this context. Now, a value stream is a sequence of steps performed in an organization to deliver value to a customer so that the customer pays. Any business is there to make money. So what the customer pays for is the value. On Amazon, if you buy something on the store, it is value. That item that the people purchase is of value. Or let's say you buy a service, you go to a movie, the movie is the value, the entertainment is the value. You go to a pizza restaurant, the pizza is the value for which you pay money. Now, the businesses procure raw materials, they connect with the suppliers, they apply their process to create the value and deliver it to the customer. Now, in the traditional world, the businesses used to be organized as departments or silos, and the cost would be monitored at an overall organization level. And the profits and revenues are also organized, delivered at the organizational level. However, now we are organizing around the value stream. What do we mean by value stream? Let's say you are a pizza restaurant, you deliver what's your value? It's the pizza and the associated ingredients, that is the value. So there is only one value that they deliver. So how much money are they spending in creating and delivering the value, and how much money are they spending in by delivering this value? How much money they are earning by delivering this value? So this is what they will assess. So in a pizza restaurant, pizza may be the only value that they deliver. I mean, when I say pizza, all the necessary other side dishes, etc., it's all included. But if you go to much bigger businesses, they may offer multiple types of values. So on each of them, how much are they spending and how much are they earning? So that is what has to be seen. So if you go to a bank, account creation, accounts is a value stream. Loans is another value stream. Credit card is another value stream, etc. So the customers pay for it, and get the value. So let's look at some more value streams. Bank loan, insurance. There are various types of insurances: vehicle insurance, life insurance, health insurance, etc. So a purchase on a retail store, pizza delivery, all these are examples of values, and the sequence of steps performed is called the value stream. Now let's look at a pizza example. Customer places a pizza order and then it gets communicated to the kitchen. The kitchen prepares the order and the delivery team packages the order and they hand it over to the delivery boys and the order is delivered, and the customer either would have paid earlier or makes the payment if it is cash on delivery and then provides the feedback. So there the value stream ends. Now we can look at so many other value streams. In an insurance, the customer looks at an advertisement, let's say on a website, clicks on I'm interested in that insurance policy. Some salesperson contacts the customer prospect, and then some exchange happens, and then the customer buys the policy. Then the organization onboards the customer, and the customer keeps paying premiums. So that is one value stream. And then if there is a claim, that's a sequence of steps where the claim is disbursed to the customer and so on. So whether it is bank loan or an insurance claim, all these have different sequence of steps. Now, in order to perform each of these steps in the value stream, they use some applications, softwares. For example, in a large Pizza Hut restaurant, they will have their main website through which the customer can place the order, and they may have customer relationship management software integrated, because they need to, if somebody buys, they will store the information and they will have different, they will create different categories of customers based on their volume of purchase, and then they will store their birthday so that they send the birthday, messages and all that. So there will be a CRM software. And moment the order is entered into the system, it has to be communicated to the kitchen on a display board. So there will be some internal ERP system. And when the kitchen prepares the dishes, the amount of raw material that they spend, either at the end of each dish or by the end of the day, they need to enter it into the system so that the inventory system knows that the stock is getting exhausted and they have to order more raw material, such as flour, dough, grains, vegetables, fruits, and all that. And then delivery. So once the kitchen prepares the dishes, it is communicated to the delivery level, the delivery team. That happens through the internal ERP. And then finally, when the customer sends the receives the value and provides the feedback, it is updated in the CRM system. So you will see here that there is a main website, CRM, internal ERP, inventory, 4 applications that is used in this value stream. Now, these steps that are being performed here, that is the customer places order, kitchen prepares, these are called business operations, the one which is marked in dark orange. And in a traditional world, each of these softwares, they are maintained separately, and these individual items here are qualified to be individual projects. So there will be one team maintaining the CRM software, there is another team maintaining the main website, etc. Now, in the traditional world, if somebody wants to create a business strategy or change an existing strategy, it is done in a very spaghetti manner. There is no methodology in which they could do that. They will once again, they will think through all the changes, etc., and it is communicated informally to the project teams and so on. That's how they work through. However, in agile world, it happens in a different way. The whole of strategies are applied to value streams. How do I create a new value stream? How do I optimize my existing value streams? So that is how the agile world thinks. And what they do is all the enhancements, changes that need to be done for all these softwares together constitutes a program. So there is, and so the multiple projects which are maintaining different software applications, they're all projects. They put together constitute a program, and the program is aligned to the business through this value stream. So there is a project level, there is a program level. Project level and program level deal with mainly the software, and the value stream level deals with the business. So these three levels we need to keep in mind. So many of you are already familiar with these concepts. So please bear with me for repeating what you might have already known. But there are others who might not have known this also. So for their benefit, I had to make things clear. So given this, what is business agility? Businesses should be able to quickly launch new strategies or change their existing strategies. So an automobile company may say, hey, I want to make I want to launch a new type of vehicle, or I want to expand into some African country, my geography, etc. So if they want to do that, the moment they come out with this strategy, while the vehicle design and manufacturing goes about on one side, parallelly, what are the legal projects that need to go on? What are the real estate projects that need to go on? What are the marketing and sales programs that need to go on, etc. And all these different programs will need software to be developed, and these software there should be teams that are aligned and geared up to from the bottom level, from the project level to the program level and to this value stream. So which is aligning with the new business strategy. So based on, it's like in a music concert, if the conductor swings that baton, all the players swing accordingly. They change their tune, they change their they change their pitch, scale, everything according to the conductor. So the whole organization should be able to move hand in hand with the business strategy. So if that happens, if there is that level of maturity, then we call it an agile organization or an agile business. There should be no chaos, and there should be no stuck in the mud kind of situation. So in the present world, with traditional organizations, it's not that traditional organizations don't succeed. So the industry has been around for 200 years and people have been succeeding. But in today's world, where there is too much of competition and too much of change, too much of volatility, it's a VUCA world. So if we are stuck in the mud, and if we are traditional, and if we carry a lot of inertia, there is once there is a new business strategy, the operations teams, the projects and programs, they can't say, no, we are already doing this, we need to deliver something 6 months down the line, only after that we can take it up, etc. If they are stuck in their pre-planned programs and cannot respond to the business agility, which without jeopardizing some of the existing revenue streams, then they are not agile. However, if we are organized around value streams with programs and projects, we will be able to quickly assess, hey, if there is a new strategy that is coming up, so what do we need to deprioritize? And how do we accommodate this new strategy? So without without jeopardizing our existing revenue streams, can we quickly deprioritize some lower priority activities that we are doing and embrace the higher priority activities which is in alignment with the new strategy? If the answer is yes, the organization is agile. So the organization machinery should be quickly able to implement the strategy. Now, the existing organizations in the traditional world, they monitor the cost at department level. For example, if let's say I'm an automobile organization, for raw material procurement, how much am I spending? On salaries, how much am I spending? On manufacturing, how much am I spending? On tools and machineries, how much am I spending? Etc. On my sales, how much am I spending? On my marketing, how much am I spending? So they monitor the cost, the budget, etc. at a department level. On the other hand, if I change it into a value stream, I will say from the time that I detect a need for a specific type of car till the time that it is delivered to the customers, I will monitor the cost along the value stream. How much material am I procuring for this type of car? How much am I spending on sales for this car alone or this brand of car alone? How much am I spending on manufacturing on this car alone? And finally, how much money I'm making by selling this type of car alone? So I will manage the whole business along the value stream. So this way, it helps me what is earning money for me, what is earning profit, what is making revenues, and what is not. And I can quickly discontinue unproductive programs, unproductive value streams, and then I can hang on or can cling on to the productive value streams. So if you are able to do all this, then it is business agility. Now, so this far we have established what is organizational agility and what is this landscape of business agility or organizational agility. In this space, where does the different methodologies stand? Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, Disciplined Agile, etc. Let's look at them one by one. Scrum and Kanban work at the project level. So that is this level. You take one CRM system, you create a product backlog, which is the requirements for that CRM, and then you start delivering the potentially shippable product increments incrementally, and then you finish your project. Kanban also does pretty much similar, but it is currently working more in the maintenance mode. Supported maintenance projects use Kanban. So it works at this individual project level. Okay. There is a method called large scale Scrum, LESS, less. It is for making multiple Scrum teams work together. But even though it is meant for making multiple Scrum teams work together, it is typically for large products. If there is one project out here which is very large, it cannot be handled by a team of 5 to 9 people. If it needs some 30 people, we will have 3 Scrum teams, and then in order to make the 3 Scrum teams work together, we have the large scale Scrum, which is less. Now, in order to work at a program level, we have SAFe, Scaled Agile Framework. So this SAFe is based on the book Agile Requirements by Dean Leffingwell. So SAFe integrates, SAFe what it does is, it identifies this value stream, identifies the applications that are mapped to the value streams, and then focuses on delivering these applications as a program. Okay, if these applications need, because if you have to achieve impact at a value stream level, so we need to organize the program. Hey, for what makes sense from a value stream level? What is a good business increment from a value stream perspective? And for that, what should be the backlog items, or what should be the requirements for the main website? What should be the requirements for the CRM? What should be the requirements for the inventory system, ERP, etc. So we put that together into a program backlog and redistribute it to the individual software teams. So there are individual software teams here also in SAFe, but they work in such a way that their work is all synchronized based on the program objectives. So this is where SAFe operates. But SAFe does not touch this value stream. If there is something wrong in the value stream, if there are redundant steps performed in the business operations, or if there is a way to optimize this value stream itself, that portion is not addressed by SAFe. So Scrum operates at this individual project level, SAFe operates at the program level, but the SAFe doesn't operate at the individual project level. So it says, hey, we will tell you how to organize this program, and once the program is organized, how the individual projects should be executed, you execute it using Scrum and Kanban. So the SAFe leaves project level to Scrum and Kanban, and they provide guidelines at program level. However, Disciplined Agile works at project level, program level, and value stream level. So this is very important. So I will put up I will come to the content of the Disciplined Agile in a while. So Disciplined Agile has the Disciplined Agile DevOps level, which contains the individual project delivery, Disciplined Agile delivery. Then there are some DevOps elements such as security, data management, release management, support, IT operations, etc. And it has the value stream level, product management, program management. It has the program management and the value stream also, such as sales, marketing, strategy, business operations, etc. And it goes on at the enterprise level also, Agile, Disciplined Agile Enterprise. So the body of knowledge of Disciplined Agile covers all of these different elements. Now let's come back to the why Disciplined Agile. One reason, so there is no single methodology today which covers the entire landscape. So Scrum and Kanban work at the project level only, and then SAFe works only at program level. They leverage Scrum and Kanban to do at project level, but they don't work at value stream level. So operational value stream level, and Disciplined Agile, integrates all the three levels. And now that is one big reason for why there is Disciplined Agile. Secondly, the existing methodologies at the individual project delivery level, such as Scrum and Kanban, they have problems. And because of these problems, in order to overcome the challenges and deliver better results, Disciplined Agile has incorporated some know-how. So what are those problems? Now, there are cost overruns. So if you look at a Scrum project, before the sprints start, Scrum is definitely a very good methodology. It's very simple. It's easy to adapt in the beginning. I mean, if you want to be pure Scrum, it takes a lot of time and effort. But just to make a beginning, it doesn't take much time. And when you start delivering incrementally, it increases the confidence level of the customer, and because they realize the business value early, so it's good. However, it doesn't solve all the problems. It does have limitations. What are those limitations? Before the sprints start, there is an initial phase where we prepare the initial product backlog by doing requirements elicitation and all that. And how do we go about in this phase, in the getting started phase? Scrum doesn't provide any guideline there. So because we don't do proper preparation of the initial product backlog, the initial scope of the project doesn't get defined properly, and then it can lead to cost overruns. So we are not saying that you should freeze all the requirements right up front and don't allow change or something like that. That is iron triangle type of thinking. What we are saying is, we don't have to be rigid. We can be flexible, but at the same time, don't leave everything loose. We have to do a proper job in getting maximum clarity and completeness about the requirements right in the beginning. And over and above that, if the requirements still change, it's welcome. That's fine. But doesn't mean that we should not attempt to be clear and complete in the initial phase. Because if you leave everything volatile, if everything undefined, and we will say, hey, as we go along, we'll make the clarity, the scope will go for a toss, and because of that, there will be a huge effort overrun and a schedule overrun, and all that can eat into the profit margins of the project team or the vendor. Disciplined Agile provides guidelines here. So Disciplined Agile has an inception phase, as we will see in the later stage, and it provides guidelines as to what we need to do in the beginning of the project, and then starts the sprints. So similarly, there are other problems. So Scrum has a good concept of time boxing. So time boxing, in a way, it gets people into it goads people into action. So people get to start acting quickly and start delivering. However, over a period of time, the concept of time boxing may be a problem, because once we take a few 4 or 5 product backlog items into the sprint, we cannot add more items into the we cannot add more items into the sprint. So as a result, there may be internal wait states. So a UI expert has created the user interfaces for all the product backlog items, but for the remainder of the sprint, what he or she will do may not be very clear. So that person may be in the waiting state. So in order to solve this problem, people are moved around on a part-time basis to different projects so that their time is utilized well, but that is a very cumbersome process. So Disciplined Agile helps here by introducing Kanban. I mean, you can switch from Scrum to Kanban in a single project if you are using Disciplined Agile. So the Kanban has the concept of a lead time rather than a time box, so which will ensure better resource utilization. So similarly, we need to use multiple requirements methodologies. User stories alone may not be adequate to express all the requirements well. So Scrum has such limitations, whereas Disciplined Agile provides what is called as agile modeling techniques, which involves a variety of requirement elicitation and modeling techniques. So again, once again, at a program level, what are the challenges? SAFe has nothing at the project level. Disciplined Agile has its own elements at the project level. Though Disciplined Agile also uses Scrum and Kanban, they have tailored it, they have modified it to improve it, and so they're all Disciplined Agile's own methodologies, improvised versions of Scrum and Kanban. And secondly, SAFe is very bulky, not for programs with less than 50 people. So SAFe says that if there are less than 50 people in the program, that is at this level, so you put some 4 people to the main website, 5 people to CRM, internal ERP, some 5 people, etc. So totally, if there are 20 people working on these 4 or 5 different applications, then it's a 20-member program. And if that is the size, SAFe says that the overheads involved in SAFe is not justified for implementing it for small programs. So SAFe says one agile release train, which is a program, should be consisting of anywhere between 50 to 125 people. So this is a guideline by Scaled Agile. So for less than 50, if there is a program less than 50 people, what do we do? So we have to use a Disciplined Agile, which involves less overheads. And at the value stream level, none of the existing agile methodologies provide any guidelines to optimize value streams. So we have to go for Lean Six Sigma or other business process management frameworks to optimize the value streams. So, but Disciplined Agile provides something here as well. Okay, so essentially, to summarize, Disciplined Agile resolves most challenges listed, and it offers a fantastic career path. How let's leverage our previous discussion and then look at the career path of Disciplined Agile. With Disciplined Agile, you can start at the project level with a DASM certificate. DASM stands for Disciplined Agile Lean Scrum Master, and then go on to the grow to program and value stream level with DAVSC. What is DAVSC? Disciplined Agile Value Stream Consultant. So, if you there is a minimum of 3 years of agile experience, prerequisite for DAVSC. And if you have that, if you have spent 3 years in any agile project, whether it's Scrum, Kanban, say whatever be it, as long as you have applied some agile methodology in 3 years for 3 years, you are eligible to take up this certification, do a program, write an exam, and get certified. You will be able to work at the program level and the value stream level. Alternatively, from a project level, if you have to go to a program to a higher level, you can become a coach as well, or you can become both a DAVSC and a coach. Now, this is where the career value is coming in the emerging in the Disciplined Agile arena. You can start at the project level, that is DALSM certification requires that you should have a minimum 2 years of agile experience. If you have worked in some agile project for 2 years, you will be able to get this certificate. And with one year so this is the project level, and if you have to start coaching multiple agile teams, you can immediately take up 1 year later, you can take up DA coach, Disciplined Agile coach, and start coaching multiple agile teams. And you can do both, or you can do one. You can also do DAVSC and start facilitating programs. You can also start advising businesses on how to optimize their value streams, reduce cost, increase efficiency, and so on. So, Disciplined Agile provides you a career path. With Scrum, you start at the project level with the CSM, and then after some time you become an advanced CSM, ACSM, and after 2 years you have to apply for CSPs, Certified Scrum Professional, and again after 2 years you either become a CSC, Certified Scrum Coach, or a CST, Certified Scrum Trainer. So from the time that you do your first certification, it's a 6-year journey, but that journey is just 3 years in DA coach. So it provides a good career path, not a tedious one. So same about DAVSC. So this is a fantastic advantage of Disciplined Agile. And secondly, there is also a better delivery of projects. DA helps reduce the cost of Scrum projects with better initial scoping. As I explained earlier, DA gives you provide guidelines how to do better requirements elicitation and modeling, so that the changes are kept to a minimum. Changes are welcome, but we ensure that the necessary changes which actually enhance business value are accommodated, not every other change. So DA improves resource utilization with a better workflow through the lean principles. So it removes the concept of a Kanban, and it removes the concept of a time box. Sushil, it is one. So actually, Sushil, there is no wait. There is a question raised by Sushil. What is the wait period to get the DAVSC after one does DALSM? There is no wait period. If you have a total experience of 2 years, you can do DALSM, and if you have 3 years experience, you can do DAVSC. So now let's answer this question from today's context. Today's context, the PMI is reorganizing and rechristening these certifications. So today, if you do DALSM, and if you already have 3 years experience, the very next day also theoretically you can do DAVSC. However, DAVAC certification will be launched sometime in the early 2021. So maybe another 6 months to go. So you can do DAVAC or DA coach in the next 6 months. And DA Disciplined Agile, DA scales up to program agility and business agility as well. So this is where DA offers a fantastic career opportunity. Now, having looked through the content, the career path of DA, what does it contain? What is a glimpse into DA? Let's take a brief glimpse. Okay, it has the mindsets. Okay, so there are 4 elements. The mindset, there are some disciplined agile principles and guidelines, which focuses on building an agile mindset, not only among the team but also among the stakeholders. And then it has a people-related element. There are some roles and responsibilities and the team structures, like how Scrum has a Scrum product owner, Scrum Master, and the Scrum team. Disciplined Agile has something over there. And for those who are familiar with Agile, there is not too much of a change here. So there is some change though, but the main content of Disciplined Agile lies in the workflow, the life cycle and workflows, and there are goal diagrams, practices. Now, for the want of a better time, I will just skip the people part. There are some roles and responsibilities such as team lead, product owner, architecture owner, team member, and stakeholder. And I will also leave out this mindset part. There are 7 principles of Disciplined Agile. And the next part is, interesting part, is the flow. What happens in the flow is there are multiple life cycles in Disciplined Agile. Scrum has only the Scrum model. Kanban has only one model called the Kanban. Here, Disciplined Agile draws from a multitude of life cycle models, which is SAFe, DevOps, PMBOK, Agile, Extreme Program, Unified Process, Scrum, Kanban, Lean, etc. All that it takes, and it has created 6 life cycle models. Agile, Lean, Continuous Delivery Agile and Continuous Delivery Lean, Program, Life Cycle Management, and then Exploratory Model. So, for example, this is called as an exploratory model. I just gave a talk to an automotive company recently. When you want to start a new project, let's say it's 1 year in time, and your requirements are not pretty clear still. So you follow the exploratory model for the first 3 months, where you try out many experiments, and then once you have a proper idea, then you change the life cycle model to let's say either the agile life cycle or the lean. Now, once again, I will not get into too much of details into this agile life cycle model, but what should be noted here is that this disciplined agile life cycle model contains an inception phase, the initial phase, and a transition phase, and a construction phase. This phase is there in any project. Scrum project also will have this, Kanban also will have this, but there are no guidelines for this phase in Scrum and Kanban projects. So similarly, when we make a release in Scrum and Kanban, so there are no guidelines to tell us when to make the release, that is the production drop, which is currently called MVP, minimum viable product, and and how to do that efficiently. DA contains some guidelines here as well. And during the construction phase, in the inception phase, there are some goals. We explore the requirements and build the initial product backlog. We achieve a common stakeholder vision, and we prove the architecture early, and then we start developing and delivering the software pretty much similar to a Scrum. But then when we have to make a production drop or an MVP in Scrum, we have some other guidelines to be followed, which is called the transition phase. So there can be multiple transition phases in a single project. So similarly, there is a lean cycle, life cycle, which is like a Kanban, which is based on a pull model. And then there is most important, there is a business service team life cycle. Now, when we have to make a production drop and make it useful for the businesses have to take some action. For example, reorganizing teams, team structures, implementing some policy, or procuring some infrastructure. So there are some activities that lie outside the scope of the software project. So they also need to be implemented so that the product can be launched, the application can be launched, and it can be used by the end users and value can be realized. So for those items can be put into a business service team lifecycle, and that also can go through a flow. And once again, I'm not going to go through all this. So there is a model called Flex, which integrates the business strategy through value streams and portfolio management, and it comes to the program level and then into the individual project level, and it goes back and provides the feedback to the strategy. So this is called Flex. So that's about an overview about the flow. Now there are practices. So that is another ingredient of Disciplined Agile. So there are what are called process goals. Sushil is asking, how is okay, couple of questions. Estimate model different in DA compared to Scrum? Yeah, there is a slight difference in estimation model compared to story points, Sushil. We cannot get into the details in this. Yes, there is a difference. And how is OCM addressed in DA? What is OCM? Oh, no, organization change management is addressed to some extent. Yes, there is the mindset and there is some organizational change aspect involved that is taught in DAVSC, but that's not a major focus of DA. That element is that component is there, but not as a dedicated model. So these process goals are aligned to the inception, construction, and transition model. Now, it seems like a lot, so this is where many people have questions about the DA, because you see so many process goals here. We tend to think, hey, is there a lot that we have to do, and are we going back to the CMMI days? No. In CMMI, you have a lot of ground to cover, whether it is useful or not, whether it is required for improving the project results or not. You have to implement some processes and show process deliverables, where you have to do process for the sake of process, but not for the sake of delivering end results to the customer, not for the sake of delivering value to the customer. But here, in Disciplined Agile, these are all the options that are available. So if you want to use this guideline, hey, here is the guideline. Are you dealing with any of these things in your process? If you do, then here is some guideline which you can utilize. So Disciplined Agile also is executed in multiple iterations, and there is a lessons learned and planning session at the end of the iteration. So we start a project with very few default options from this. We don't put together this entire big framework into place and then launch. We will start small, and then at the end of every iteration, we go through and explore this framework and start adopting some of the best practices and keep improving. So there is a process called evolve way of working. So this is the cornerstone. This is the heart of disciplined agile way of working. So we start with some simple way of working and we evolve it iteration by iteration. And for us to evolve iteration by iteration in a gradual manner without too much of overhead, we have the landscape laid out for us. So if we simply, without a guided guided improvement, in what do we improve on a sprint basis? We may not understand that. But here, the landscape is there. Hey, what do we improve in the next iteration? We pick 1 or 2 items or 3 items from this. Next iteration, pick some 2, 3 items. So the landscape is a little exhaustive, but the way we explore the landscape is in an agile and manner which is flexible, not rigid. So these guidelines for all these process goals are provided in this fashion. So this diagram illustrates what is called as a process goal diagram. Explore scope is a process goal. How do we explore scope? How do we explore requirements? And what do we do as part of exploring the scope? There are many what are called decision points. We should explore the purpose, explore the usage, explore the domain, explore the processes, explore the user interface needs, explore the general requirements, explore the quality requirements, etc. And for each of these process decisions, there are options. What technique do we use? What method do we use? There are different methods available at each point. We don't have to understand all of it in one shot. We don't have to make a decision for all of them in the beginning. So there are some help. There is help provided here. The bold ones here, they are the default options. So when I start a project, I will see what among this big list is applicable to my project. Okay. Do I need to explore the domain? May not be necessary. Are there processes that I have to document? Yes, I pick this. And then, is there any user interface need? I'll pick this, etc. So 4 or 5 things I'll pick from here. And for each of these decision points, what method do I follow? If I don't know anything, then I will go with the default options here. But then, as time progresses, we will start exploring other options. Hey, can we have been using interviews to do the agile modeling strategy. Can we start doing the joint application requirement sessions for the next time? So like that, we can keep improving over a period of time. So the body of knowledge for disciplined agile, called the choose your wow way of working, it details out what each of these options mean and when you use that. So that these guidelines constitute the disciplined agile body of knowledge, and we have to go through this to become disciplined agile certified. So to summarize the options, that is these options and their explanation, these constitute the heart of DA and the DA implementation guidelines. And because of these guidelines, DA stands out from Scrum and SAFe. Because Scrum and SAFe ensure agility of software development, but the agile adoption is big bang. So that means in SAFe, you have to go through various setups before you launch your first agile release train or program. Here in disciplined agile, you can do gradually. First, I pick up few items, and then few more items, and then few more items, and things like that. It facilitates a gradual journey. Okay, so there are few other advantages. I will not go through all of them. So this is just the disciplined agile career path. So now, because of some changes going on, PMI will, from November onwards, whatever is the DALSM, it will be called DASSM. So those who get certified as DALSM now will automatically be called DASSM, which is called Disciplined Agile Senior Scrum Master. Okay. So You don't have to wait for long to become a coach, unlike in Scrum. And unlike in SAFe, you can apply disciplined agile program management for smaller programs, so 20 people, 25 people, and so on. And you can start at project level, go on to work at the program level and the value stream level. If you start working at the value stream level, you can then do some enterprise architecture programs and become a business consultant. So that will be your prime, career peak, or you can become a business head. You can become a business head. So these are the advantages of working through the disciplined agile career path. So right now, because the PMI has not yet rechristened its certification path, let me explain the DASM certificate. DASM certificate is based on passing an exam based on a syllabus which is covered in 4 days, which is Foundations of Agile, which is predominantly based on Scrum, Foundations of Lean, predominantly based on Kanban, and then there is a Foundations of Disciplined Agile and Choosing Your Way of Working. This is 2-day training program. Now, for a person to get certified, he has to go through the training and then pass the exam. Going through the training for the first 2 days, that is the Agile and Foundations of Agile and Lean, it is optional. It is not mandatory. However, going through this program, Foundations of DA, using Choosing Your Wow, this is compulsory. However, in the examination, you will get questions from the content covered in all the 4 trainings. So if you are familiar with Scrum, you can skip this. If you are familiar with Kanban, you can skip this. But if you are not, then you have to go through this program. And the certification exam is a 50-question computer-based test that you can take from home, and it will involve questions from a syllabus covered in all the 4 days of training. So, in summary, Disciplined Agile is a rich, comprehensive, well-organized toolkit of strategies to help your organization to be more successful with Agile. So, if you get certified, you can improve your project delivery results, and thereby, from a career standpoint, you can get noticed. And you can apply Disciplined Agile gradually, so it will be easy for you to influence your stakeholders and your team to start adopting Disciplined Agile because it is incremental. Now, Scrum and SAFe are not agile in agile adoption. Scrum and SAFe ensure agility for software development. You develop the software in an incremental way and you are agile. But the adoption of Scrum and SAFe have to be done in a one-shot basis. But Disciplined Agile is different. Disciplined Agile not only ensures that the software is developed in an agile manner, the agile adoption can also be done in an incremental and agile way. So thereby, it is easier for you to address even the organizational change management also. So you can start, expecting small changes from the stakeholders, show small benefits, and then handle them gradually to become fully agile. Now, so that concludes our workshop about introduction to Disciplined Agile. So there is a bit about the certification that we are going to offer. But before that, any questions I would be happy to take. Okay, if there are no immediate quick questions, you can think of those questions. But in the meantime, let me also introduce the workshop that we are going to conduct. So we are offering a course next week. So that is, so it will be, it will cover one of the optional modules. So which is this. This is the Foundations of Lean. We will be covering. It is so this is what we are going to cover, and then of course we have to cover this 2-day module, Foundations of DA. And so next Wednesday and Thursday in the evening. So I think evening 7:30 to 11 or 8 to 11:30, depending on some timings. Ajay, I will come to question. That's an excellent question. Will this help to any kind of industry? Yes, I will come to that question. So because I have started explaining the course, I will just finish it, and then we'll take up your question. So Foundations of Lean is a 3.5-hour session in the evening, 7 or 7:30 or 8. It will start anytime between 7:30 to 8 and go until 10:30, 11 or whatever, Indian Standard Time. That is on the Wednesday and Thursday, 30th September and 1st October. And then there is a DASM core, which happens as a full day session on the Friday and Saturday. Friday is 2nd October, so I think most of you will be free. 2nd and 3rd October, and so this will be full 8-hour sessions. And the program will be virtual live, and so you are split the weekday program into half days and the weekend program full day, so that it's convenient for you to follow. And there is a prize. We will see. We'll get to the prize, but before that, let me answer some of these questions. And just a quick check on the timeline. So we have crossed our 1 hour timeline. So we have covered whatever I have to cover. I'm here with whatever length of time that is required. I'm available for any question and answers. In case you're interested in this program, you have my email ID, and most of you have my phone number also. Just in case you don't have my phone number, you can feel free to reach out to me on this phone number. I have typed it down on the chat window. Okay, this is my number. You can reach out to me on mobile as well, and you have my email ID. So, let me come back to the question. Ajay, thanks, Amitabh. I am not currently intending to share the deck, Amitabh, but if you are interested, get in touch with me offline. Let's see what we can do. Ajay, yes, this is very helpful for non-software industry also, because the DAVAC, if you have domain expertise and you're not very proficient at the software level, the DAVAC is meant to exactly help you with that. So the DAVAC certificate, where is that? DA coach or DAVAC is specializes with the domain as well. So the software people coming from the software background can get there and start making a difference at domain, the value stream or the business level. But the value that they bring is they will be able to integrate the software with the domain well. The domain people will also be able to do the same. So domain people specialize in the domain, but they will learn something about the software so that they can mix and they can marry the software and program cycles and the value streams together properly. So it is definitely useful for non-software people also. And for non-software people, this is the best agile methodology.